Make sure you hit OK, because if you don't, you're stuck with that block or it will kick you out. Did you know that? If you don't accept those terms, it'll kick your buns right out. All right, let's get those videos on. And I want to start with ahas, but I want to do ahas a little different today. I want to know through the first couple of sessions what you've already implemented into your business. Because, guys, I fully believe it's 1% better every day. If you were to try to take all these things and implement them tomorrow, you'd be overwhelmed, right? There, it's too much. So I'm a big person about 1% better every day. So please either drop it in the chat or come off of mute and talk to me. I want to talk to you guys this morning and tell me what you've already implemented into your business. Mr. Mahoney, how are you? Come on, guys. Somebody come off of mute.
What?
Give us. So what was the one thing you've already implemented into your business from Ignite this session so far?
I think I finally got my 411 right.
You think you, okay, so what were you struggling with before and what made the difference?
I was looking at it as its own thing, and I needed to figure out a way to integrate it into my morning routine.
Excellent.
The second part of that is organizing who I'm going to contact the night before.
That's incredible. And are you putting those tasks in command and so that they're popping up the next day, or how are you organizing them?
Right
Don't
now,
tell me that.
I've got an Excel spreadsheet because they're not yet contacts. They're people that I'm reaching out. They're from my sphere that I'm reaching out to.
Okay, so if there's fear, they're people who belong in your data bank.
Right. So the idea for me is put them on the sheet, contact them, and then enter them. So these are all brand new, first time I've ever talked to them people.
So if they're first time ever contacted, are they truly sphere?
Well, first time ever contacted them in a real estate capacity.
So do you know if they would refer to you?
I don't.
Not sphere yet.
I don't.
So just keep that in mind.
They're folks that I've run into and spoke to and
awesome.
In some cases done business with, and so yeah, I've got it broken down into these people I'm sending notes to, these people I'm contacting through Facebook, these type people I'm calling.
Awesome.
Like that.
Awesome.
And then once I know where their head's at, I enter them into command, because in a lot of cases, I'm looking for more information. I'm either missing an email or I'm missing a phone number or I'm missing. So this way here, when I do enter it into command, I got all of their contacts.
Wow. I'm going to send you a quick video later today. I already wrote it down about how you can leverage command for missing emails, missing phone numbers right in a smart plan. And it does all the heavy lifting for you. So
I love that.
Be on the lookout for an email from me later today. It might be this evening, depending on my day, but you're on my radar now, Mr. Mahoney. You're on my radar.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you for sharing that. Anita,
I'm making my bio presentation. Yeah, I don't have a bio.
That's okay.
My MCA said that if I make, he'll print it out and make a booklet. So
good.
I'm working on it.
Excellent. Excellent. And then we've got Nicole in the chat that says she's completely changed her day-to-day schedule to start growing your business and balancing new education, which is so, so important, because oftentimes we get overwhelmed by the amount of education offered to us. Like, that's not such a bad thing, guys, how much we have going on, but we do have to make sure we are balancing things and doing our business as well. I appreciate you guys sharing a couple of those ahas. If you want to put things into the chat during this, awesome. Let me introduce myself. If you've never met me before, my name is Brooke Silva. I am your regional technology trainer here at KW New England. I've been part of KW now for over 3 years. and I'm in my first year as your RTT. I have a background in technology education, marketing, PR, and general shenanigans. So I am thrilled to be teaching prospecting Elementals 1 with you guys today. And joining me is my partner in crime, Jen Bovey and Evie, who's my little baker goddess. Can you come off of mute and say hello and introduce yourselves?
Good morning, guys. Yes, Evie and I are here today to co-host with Brooke today. Really excited to be here and plop in anything I can to assist in Brooke, but Brooke is absolutely amazing. So you guys are super lucky to have her teaching today. I'll keep an eye on the chat, and if you guys have any questions for me as well, I'll put my contact information in the chat section. Again, my name is Jen Bovey. I am the area director for the New England region. So if you do have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm also an operating principal in the state of Rhode Island. I see a couple of my Rhode Island friends on here, Tom and Gina. And I love what I do. I love Keller Williams. It has completely changed my world and my life. And that's for another time and another story. So Brooke, let's get started with Ignite.
Yeah, I love this Ignite. And again, guys, so you've already made it through all of Spark. So now we're on to the stuff that's going to boost us. These are the elementals. These are the things that are going to follow up on all the lessons that we've already been learning. So welcome to prospecting. What I love about this, and I'll get the slideshow up in a minute. I just want to make sure everybody's in this morning and we can see everyone. There we go. But when we're talking about prospecting, what comes to mind for you guys? Come off of mute or throw it in the chat. What does prospecting mean to you?
Brooke, I'll jump right in here because I started my real estate business in 2001 when I was 22 years old. And nobody said the word prospecting to me for probably the first, 5 years or so of my business. And it was a lot of just figuring out myself. Yet once I came over to Keller Williams, read the MREA book and really figured out what prospecting was. Prospecting is really doing what I was doing and not knowing it. And what I mean by that is just speaking to so many people about real estate, about the market at a high level, which we could talk about a little later, and really, really just talking to people one-on-one about real estate. How many of you on this call have had the question to you, how's the market? As soon as you get your license, I think everybody in your world asks you that. It like gives them permission to ask you that one question. Hey, how's the market? Anybody on here, or is it just me? Yeah. Okay.
I'm not actively selling and people ask me all the time, all the time, how's the market?
We're going to talk about how to amplify the response with that, because instead of just saying, hey, it's good, we're going to talk a little bit about how to amplify that response when you get asked that a little later. So that's what prospecting, or how it started changing in my world, Brooke, is by coming over to Keller Williams and truly understanding that prospecting was a two-way conversation about real estate with a goal in mind.
And guys, how many of you feel this? Now, I know a bunch of you are newer in this world, but how many of you have ever felt that instead of you running your business is running you? Who's tired? Who is exhausted? Who is sick of hearing words like lead gen and leverage and 411? Like, who is sick of the real estate words, right? We get to that point, and that's why Ignite is so important in some of these classes and doing things like the time blocking and the prospecting, because as you get rocking and rolling in this world, when you use your data bank correctly, when you use the systems and tools we've got, guess what? You walk in and it's a task list and it tells you what to do. So you're not sitting there going, oh my God, who do I call today? What do I say? What do I even want to say? I don't want to call them. Why are they even in my data bank, right? So that's some of these tools today with prospecting that are going to help you figure it out. Gina, saw your thing? One thing. The one thing. It's so important. But you know what? We all feel that. Jen and I talk about this all the time. We are partners at work, but we are also such great friends. And there are times where I call her and I'm like, I can't today. It's too much. Everything is just too much. So we all feel that there is no magic, but there are so many tools to get that feeling of balance back and figuring out what circle. So let's get to it. Right. Can you guys see my Ignite? And I'm not going to be able to see. Let me just move some windows around to my 80 monitors because you guys know I have like 800 monitors rocking and rolling as your nerd. Got it. I love the monitors. All right. Thumbs up if you can see just Ignite. Perfect. All right, guys. So like we said, today is all about prospecting. And this is lead generation. This is lead generation for buyers. This is lead generation for sellers. And it's proactive and it's direct. So what this means is you are setting yourself up for success. We are making sure that you have the tools and the things you need to come in every day and offer value to your clients. Oops, sorry, hit my new keyboard. All right, so we're going to teach you how to lead generate for buyers and sellers. Now, lead generate is like one of those phrases where people say it to you constantly. Well, what are you doing for lead gen, lead gen, lead gen? And you're like, I call people in my data bank. I tag them. I send them emails. I put a magnet in the mail. I'm doing all these things. We're going to dig into that a little deeper. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to connect prospecting to lead gen and how all those pieces work. And I know you guys have already seen this in one of our lead gen models in the beginning, but I love the way this model looks. Okay, so what we're looking at, guys, is the new updated lead generation model. And we've talked about this. So this is a funnel. It's a giant funnel, right? So in come the people. Now, these could be people you know, work with. These could be people you've met at networking events through referrals. But let's talk about real quick the difference between a lead and a contact. Does anybody remember? I think I jumped on with you guys and told you this at one point, but what's the difference between a lead and a contact? Besides the little checkbox you click in command.
Lead is one-way conversation. Contact is two-way conversations.
Right, but more than that, it's about real estate.
Yes.
So Aunt Lucy can be a lead because you haven't validated her real estate concerns, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So does somebody, so you do not know if they're going to refer to you. So Mr. Mahoney, you and I were just speaking about this. These are people you're putting in to your data bank, and they could be leads. Your immediate family could be your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, the people you worked with, your mechanic. We can't assume that they're going to refer to us. We can't assume they're going to do business with us because we have not validated their needs yet in real estate. So that's the difference between a lead and a contact. So when you're inside command, just because they're family, just because you think they may refer to you because maybe they've clicked that like button on your new Facebook page, doesn't mean that they're a contact. And so think of those as two little different Super Mario Brothers pipelines, right? Have I had a two-way conversation? No, vroom, you go down this pipe. Have I had a two-way conversation about real estate? Vroom, you go down the contacts pipeline. Okay, leads, contacts. And that's a simple checkbox when you're in the contact inside command. From there, we're cultivating things. So the whole point is to get leads to move to contacts so we can cultivate them. And that cultivating is what we call our sales pipeline. And that's where we're really going to get purposeful and intentional about the activities we're doing. Hold on, I'm going to have to shut my mini blind in a minute, and it's blinding me. Because those activities, those smart plans, the drip campaigns, the emails, the mail, the things we're doing are what's going to move our people from cultivate into nurtured and qualified appointments to either buy, sell, invest, or refer. Jen, do you have anything to add to this while I shut my mini blind?
You know, Brooke, I think you're absolutely right. And a lot of us don't kind of get this when we first get, I know, speaking for myself, I didn't get this when I first got into real estate. So understanding the difference from a lead to a contact really is so important as you're developing your data bank and as we go through today. So I think you did a great job explaining it.
All right, guys, what is your one job as a real estate agent? See, I still got I can't get away from it. There's nobody trying to hurt me. That is not a laser beam coming from somewhere. What is your one job as a real estate agent? Your one role.
Tell people that you're a real estate agent.
And how do we do that?
A bunch of different ways.
And we call it what?
Lead generation?
Ta-da! Yes, Alexander, you get my virtual first high five of the day. Boom. Okay. Yes, we call it lead gen. Your one role is lead generation. The other things are just great side effects of doing the things we're supposed to be doing, getting people into homes and making the money we want to fund our bigger lives, right? So with lead gen, since it's the life of your business, again, we have to be purposeful. We have to make sure we are matching our messages to the market of the moment. So let's define that a little bit. How many of you, I'm going to come off a share for a second because I want to see your faces. How many of you got into real estate during the pandemic and you had never been in here before? Got a lot of hands. Yeah, a lot of hands. So you've never seen what it's like to be in a pre-COVID market. So how we have to market, especially right now, is very, very different. How many of you have been here before COVID? I know Jen has. I know Tommy has. Okay. It's going to be different, and we need to match our messaging to the market of the moment. So if you've got your workbooks out, I want you to write that down right now. We have to match our messaging to the market of the moment. We have to match our, I'm putting it in the chat.
You know, Brooke, this is a good time to say, what is the market of the moment? How do you define that? And I'm asking everybody on this Zoom, how do you define the market right now? In your words, in your way. If somebody asked you, how's the market? What do you reply? And I'd love to hear some people come off mute or put it in the chat.
It depends. Are you buying or selling? That's the starter.
That's great. And what else would you say, Gina? So if they say, you know what, I'm interested in doing both. Actually, I'm not sure if I should sell my house and buy a new one or what. So what do you think the market looks like right now?
It's selling over
Well,
listing
good.
price. Sorry. I checked MLS and I saw them all going over list price.
I love that. And what else can you say? Shelley?
I'll go along with that. I talked to a very experienced realtor yesterday. The low inventory, but also I read everything I can in my feed in the morning when I'm having my coffee. And my understanding that the majority of buyers are older, I call it the baby boom generation right now.
So you know what, you're exactly explaining what I'm talking about by amplifying the response for when somebody asks you how the market is of the moment. Because here's the thing, we have 6 different states that are in New England, and our markets are not the same in Rhode Island as it is in Meredith, New Hampshire. It's not the same as it is in Boston. It's not the same. So what Shelley, what I loved about what you said was that you check the news or you check something every single day. And that is absolutely one of the ways that I was able to get educated and have a better response when somebody asked me how the market was. What I did, and I've shared this before on this call, I'm going to share it again because I truly feel it's very valuable for you to do this if you add it to your daily list. Every single day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on weekends, if I was at open houses, in which I was, I would check the daily hot sheet in MLS. And by checking the daily hot sheet in MLS, I could set it to where I wanted to be the expert in or know the most about. whether it be the entire state of Rhode Island or a certain area of Massachusetts. Mine was the entire state of Rhode Island. I was eager to understand Rhode Island. So I would pull a hot sheet every day and know what the daily new listings were, the new pendings, any expired properties, because properties still expire in this market, believe it or not, any just closed. So that way, when I'm able to have a conversation with somebody who says, hey, Jen, how's the market? I could say, hey, are you still in North Kingstown? Great. You know what? In North Kingstown, we had 3 new listings come on in one day from the price range of 400 to 800. One has been pending because the inventory is so low that as soon as they go on, they go pending. And we've had 5 closings in the last 30 days. So do you see what I'm saying? My conversation now has changed dramatically with that person, because I'm not only just saying, yeah, it's low inventory market, it's a seller's market. I'm talking to the market of what they want to hear, of what that person is asking you. And by localizing it and by being able to really hone in on what they want to hear, what happens is they start looking at you a little differently. How do you think they start looking at you or hearing from you?
You're an expert.
Yeah,
You're an
no.
expert.
You might not be, and that is okay. You don't have to be the expert. You will become the expert by doing this every single day and speaking to the right people behind that. So I just wanted to add that.
So who's going to go out right now, right at the top of your sheet? First 15 minutes of your day time block is doing what? Get your numbers, kids. Get your numbers.
15.
15 minutes is all it takes to pull that hot sheet and skim. And here's what I always love to tell people too, is you're going to have people going to come back at you at numbers and be like, well, I saw on CNN or Fox News or whatever that XYZ is happening. So you've got to know hyper local, which is your MLS hot sheets. You have to know what's going on in your region and in your state, national and international news. 15 minutes is all it's going to take for you to get a log of your brain of what's going on in those areas, or even checking out what's going on in different real estate news, right? Like I read an article every morning when I wake up. I have it sent to my inbox and I read a specific real estate tech news, of course, an article about what's going on in our real estate world and what's shifting those things. The other thing that Jen brought up that's so important, and I'm not sure if you guys caught it, is that you've got to match your message with your method. Now, how many of you like to just email everyone about everything in your database at all times? Like I don't know who to send this to, so I'm just going to send it to everyone. Okay, that's real estate barf. That's digital garbage. So how do we fix that in our world? They're my favorite things on the planet. Tags. Tags. You are tagging, and this is another reason, Mr. Mahoney, why I love having everybody in one spot. You're tagging your data bank correctly. You're not going to send buyer heavy information out to people who either just bought from you or are looking to sell or like you've got to match the value of what you're providing to the people who want to hear it and the method. And this is a great example. So my husband's a paramedic. You're not going to get that man to pick up the phone because he's doing paramedic things, whatever that entails, right? Like he's out saving lives, okay? But if you text him, he will text you back or email. So asking the people in your world how they prefer to be contacted is also super important. You're going to match the message with the method. Now today, guys, we're only hyper focusing on prospecting, but it does touch a little bit about marketing as well, because those two worlds can collide. So make sure you are tagging people, buyer, seller, bought, sold, because people who just bought a house from you may not want to see that you just listed a property yesterday, especially if it's outside of the area where they're even living. But some other piece of value may be what they need. All right. So we're going to match the message to the market. Then we've got to make some type of offer, right? So we have to say things like, call me now. Or we can be a little more indirect about it, such as check out my website for more information. What are the responses we're trying to get from people? If you are on our growth calls Monday, you know that we ask a lot of questions. When I sit with agents and they say, I don't get any movement on my social media, the first thing I say to them is, are you asking people to do things in your messaging? Whether it's email, text message, calling, Facebooking, LinkedIn, whatever you're using for a medium to communicate, are you asking people to do something? Because if you're not, consumer behavior says, I'm not doing it. I don't need to. Okay. Tags, messaging, okay? So they call this the 2M if you hear that in MREA or any parts of the book. So we're going to make sure that we have call to actions, right? Again, call me now, go to my website to learn more. Okay. And then the method is prospecting, like we're talking about today. We already talked about time blocking. First 15 minutes of the day. New Englanders, get your numbers. They always make fun of me in the other regions when we say that, okay? But I don't mind. I don't mind. So, prospecting based, marketing enhanced. There is always a cost. Cost could be time, cost could be money. But there is always a cost behind what you're doing to try to get business, or the term on our bingo card, lead generation. Okay. Marketing is going to attract leads. You're going to have to do these things over time. We've talked about what's a passive sign, luck, hoping that people refer things to you. But prospecting is time intensive. And that's why we say to you guys, you need to set aside those hours in the day for dedicated lead generation. It's proactive, it's direct, it's two-way conversations. And it's, how many of you have heard this? There's active and then there's reactive real estate, right? We're reacting to the market right now. Whereas if we are not going to be proactive, when the market shifts, we're going to have no one to talk to. We're not going to be selling a lot of houses. We're not going to be listing a lot of houses. So we need to be proactive now. Why do you guys think it's important or better to be prospecting based right now in your career versus marketing enhanced? Why do you think it's so important to be prospecting right now?
Real estate is personal. It involves a high degree of trust, and who are you going to trust? The people you know through talking to them personally.
I love that. I love that. Right? That shiny postcard just as name recognition. It is not building trust. It's just starting top of mind. What else, guys? We're going to dig into some areas of prospecting. What else? Why is it so important to be prospecting based right now? How many of you have a lean data bank? Actually, how many of you have a database and not a data bank yet? And if you haven't been to my class, you have a database. Okay. What are one of the lead gen rules? We're supposed to be adding to our data bank every day, right? We've got to feed it continually. If we are just doing marketing, what is that? Is that one way or two way? It's definitely one way, because we are sending something out in the mail and we are hoping and praying that somebody will pick up the phone and call us or scan the QR code. But when we are prospecting, that is a two way. That is us being purposeful about the time we are spending with our voices and the cost to us as business owners to make those calls. So just keep that in the back of your mind, because often marketing takes years for return on investment. But prospecting is almost immediate results, right? You get someone on the phone, you talk to them, you get an immediate result. You know right where they stand in your world. Whereas marketing, you're like, did they get it? Do I call them? Did they see my sign? It's just a little different. Okay. Here are some different ways we prospect. And if you guys go to page 4 in your participant guide, you'll see that. And these are a whole bunch of different ways. So we've got phone or face-to-face with FSBOs, which are for sale by owners, or expired listings. Have any of you taken any classes or done any education around FSBOs or expireds? If you haven't, that's okay. And again, guys, these are not all things we would just jump in and add to our business right away. This is after we've learned how to call our sphere, script practice, all that. Okay. Jen, did you ever do FSBOs or expireds when you were producing?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely a way to get, it was crazy because it was easier for a FSBO or expired because they already had their hand up. When they were ready to sell, because if they expired, they were intending to sell, right? Sometimes that conversation would be a little bit on the, well, my other realtor couldn't do what makes you be able to do it. So it's a little on the defensive side. Yeah, if you're able to break down the barrier and tell them that conversation on how you're going to be able to get the job done, it typically works. So yeah, I absolutely did go down the FSBO and expired route.
Yep. And there's a bunch of tools we do have. Again, you do have to respect the do not call list. Make sure that if you have not taken any classes or talk to your broker, talk to the people inside your market center and leadership, learn about the do not call list. There's a choose your own adventure out on KW Connect about the do not call, but get clarity on that before making any of those phone calls. Circle prospecting. Have any of you heard this term? You've probably done it without even thinking about the name of it. So this is farming your neighborhoods, apartment complexes, recently sold listings, and recently listed properties. How many of you have shadowed another agent in your office? Okay. How many of you have done door knocking for that agent? No, door knocking. We're going to talk about door knocking and why it works. It's part of this. Have you sold any properties in here? Is anybody? Okay, we got a bunch of newbies. Awesome. So one of the ways you can do the circle prospecting is the just sold postcards, right? Or just sold door knocking flyers. One of my favorites, community outreach. I came from a world where we were I did 40 hours a quarter of volunteer work when I was in our tech support company, and I loved it. Community outreach is a big part of who we are here at KW, through KW Cares, through Red Day. Who's participated in a Red Day? I got to do mine with Jen this year and her crew. It's so much fun. Volunteer work is huge. I have a huge network here because I'm heavily involved in making sure that all kids can eat, right? Food banks. This time of year is huge for us and all the volunteering work we're doing. And then talk about key relationships. Did anybody walk out of school and just become a realtor? Who went to school for real estate here? Nobody ever raises their hand. No, you didn't, Tommy. You lie. You did not go to school for real estate. All right. We came from a past life. We've got these great relationships, right? So talk about your corporations, build relationships with vendors such as mortgage, banks, data companies, other investors. Great opportunities are always come from teaching and speaking at different places. If you've got high schools or tech high schools near you, find out if they've got STEM days or career days where you can go in and talk about what you do. Door-to-door canvassing, networking events, booths and kiosks. We're getting back into the world where it's opening up, and there are home shows, and there are best of your region or the state where you can have booths. And then some of the market centers offer opportunity times or floor time or walk-ins. So check with your market center to see if there are walk-in availability. Does one of these type of things stick out to any of you more than others that you would like to try? Throw it in the chat. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking is something you'd want to add. Just one thing, not all of these, to add to your repertoire of being in the lead gen mode and prospecting.
Brooke, I'll add what I did when I was really young in the business, and it's going to sound like marketing. Yeah, it's not. So go with me on this. So what I did was I sponsored a local softball team. Yeah, I didn't just sponsor the local softball team. I played on it and I was the coach of the team. So I was there for every game, additional games, and my name was on all of our shirts. So what that did was I didn't just sponsor it. So don't get me wrong by just going to sponsor, a kid's soccer game. What I did this year was I sponsored my daughter, she's 2. I sponsored her soccer team and coached it and created relationships with the parents. When I did this when I was younger, that's how I was able to form so many long-term relationships. And it was prospecting because I had two-way conversations with so many people on that field because I was there and my shirts were there to remind them on what I did. It was basically having them come to me to have the discussion rather than me go to them. So it did cost me a little bit of money. I will tell you, I still to this day have business that I refer out from my softball days.
Well, I'll tell you, so that is the perfect example of this. So that is prospecting based, but you enhanced it with marketing. Because here's why, guys. Try to think longevity. Somebody's always washing that t-shirt and looking at it. I keep my t-shirts forever. I don't know about you, but my husband still has t-shirts from high school. Like, we keep those things forever. So every time somebody washes or uses that or throws it on as a pajama shirt, they're going to think about you as their real estate agent, hyper local. And it also, get out into your community, find your community. We talk about community a lot. It's just find what's good in your world, things you're passionate about, and then get out there. If you're a crocheter, sponsor your local crochet competition, like something, just find whatever it sings to your soul and run with it. If you guys remember, yes, I'm that crazy girl who does crochet. I'll make you a scarf, Jen. I'll make you a scarf. All right, so let's dig into some more areas of how to prospect. I absolutely love door knocking. I absolutely love door knocking.
And I don't.
Right, let's go together. I'll do most of the talking, but here's the thing. For new agents, how many of you are struggling to get open houses? To get an agent to help? Okay. Stop asking for the open houses. If they're not, ask them. Great. You know what? If you've got somebody covering the open house, who is doing the door knocking for you in that neighborhood? If it's allowed by your board, like just make sure it is allowed where you are.
And Brooke, I want to just kind of add on to I really don't like door knocking because to me it feels intrusive. And for me, and that's my mindset of it. So the way that I got around it and was able to love door knocking was I set myself up for having a successful door knocking experience where people knew I was coming. And what I mean by that is I would send out either a letter or a postcard before I would go out into that neighborhood in that weekend. And I would say, hey, my name is Jen Bovey. I'm your local realtor. I'm going to be coming through your neighborhood this weekend, dropping off bags to collect canned goods for families in need for this Thanksgiving. If you see me, I'll be dropping a bag off at your house. Say hi. And if you have any real estate questions, please feel free to ask me. I am your real estate professional for the area. So what I did was I was a little more proactive and did an approach of, hey, listen, I'm going to be there. So if you see me, you know why I'm here, rather than my mindset kicking in of, oh no, somebody's coming to my door, where it is 2021 and people hide. I mean, we do that, right? We don't open the door for people. I'm talking about my family. We don't open the door for people we don't know. So for me, the way that I got around that in my mindset was I sent them something ahead of time.
And I love that because you got to have an item of value when you're there. And that item of value is building your community. So one of the things you can do in this fast market is if you're hosting an open house or you know there's an open house happening Saturday and it's Thursday, you can drop the letter or door knock twice. You can bring that letter out and say, hey, it's Brooke Silva. I just wanted you to know I am hosting an open house this weekend here. part of what we do is, we give back to our community by collecting. So I'm going to leave you this letter with what the food banks are looking for. I'll be back Saturday morning or Friday evening, whatever is easiest for you. Let me know. And if you have any questions about real estate, I can answer them for you at that time. Have a great day. Right? So then they know you're coming back. They know you're collecting. And the other thing is they may be like, ooh, my mom is looking to move in, or they might know somebody to send to that open house. The other thing about open houses is great. You've got that open house covered. Were you planning on doing a neighborhood preview? Have you asked the agents, great, if you're hosting an open house, would you like me to host a neighborhood preview for you for the 2 hours or hour before the open house? Now you have another reason to door knock. Hey, it's Brooke Silva. We are we're inviting our neighbors in to see the home before the open house even starts. Here's the times I'm going to be there. Here's my information. Could you just please RSVP if you plan on coming, so I have enough breakfasts? You can bring donuts or little munchkins or muffins or whatever. And then again, you're collecting information about them coming in, right? It is an exclusive invite to neighbors. Ooh, yes. Right? So open house is covered. Great. Let me do an exclusive neighbor open house or preview.
Are you there?
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Oops. No. Right. So that's another way you can get in, because as an agent, I would be like, you want to do that before the open house? You want to door knock? They will let you. And the other thing is social media, guys. Ask. Build engagement, not just come to my open house Saturday, 11 to 2. See you there. Please pre-register to win a prize. Right? Like, what room are you most interested to see in this house? What do you think of this bathtub? What do you think of these counters? What do you think of X, Y, Z? Really dig into those things, because a lot of these houses have some really incredible things. All right. How many of you have been coached or talked to about door knocking? Does your productivity coaches talk about it? So if you go to page 5 in your workbooks, you'll see a little more information about it. But the whole thing for door knocking is approach, you act, you ask, you advance. And one of the things I learned is when you approach, when somebody opens the door, you take a step back. You make sure you're wearing your sparkly KW badge. Boys, you don't have to buy the sparkly one if you don't want to, but I love the blinged out badge, right? So you knock, you take a step back, it makes you less threatening. Okay. And then just like Jen and I were talking about is you let them know what you've got going on. You offer a piece of value, and then you walk away. You leave your information. You tell them when you're going to be coming back. That exclusive invite to neighbors too is going to be bank. Okay. And you're coming from contribution. I think that's the hardest mindset to overcome, is that you think you're bothering people. That could be for anything in our world as real estate agents. That mindset is why you wouldn't pick up the phone, you wouldn't send a message, you wouldn't send an email, and you won't knock on the door. Would you not greet people as they walk into the open house? It's basically the same thing. We've got to get better at that mindset of you're bothering someone, because you're not. Because you have so much value to bring to your neighborhoods, to your circles, to your farm, to everybody you talk to. What are some of your apprehensions, now that we've learned about door knocking a little bit, about door knocking? What makes you feel funny, or what makes you feel uncomfortable? Or if it doesn't, if you're going to be like, giddy up, let's do this, let me know. It feels intrusive. Okay. What else?
So let me ask a question to the group, and I hope that's okay. If you were to go door knocking and you got a listing and a buyer from your efforts, you knew you were going to get it. Like you were guaranteed to get a listing and a buyer from door knocking. Would you do it if you knew that you were definitely going to get it?
You would?
I see Alexander saying yes. I don't know if anybody else is. We only have a couple of cameras on today. Yet, that's where I think Brooke is talking about. And that's the direction I ended up going in, where when I sent that letter or postcard ahead of time, one, it took away my mindset of being intrusive, Anita. And then two, it gave them the right to have a conversation with me because they knew who I was. And that almost guaranteed me a listing and a buyer every single time I went door knocking. And it wasn't directly from the person I door knocked to, but because they knew I was coming, and when they opened the door and I would have a conversation with them and I would say, hey, listen, you know I was coming, I'm dropping off a bag for your whatever it was that I was doing that time. And by the way, just so you know, I wanted to give you a quick real estate update since I'm the real estate professional in the area. There are 2 new listings in this area within a 2-mile radius, and both of them went pending within 24 hours. And we have 5 that are scheduled to close. Whatever it was, I would give them the local information. And then almost every time I did, I would always get somebody that said, you know what, I actually do have a brother who is looking to sell their house. They just have no idea what their house is worth. Zillow is not accurate. Awesome. And that's how I was able to almost every single time guarantee myself a buyer and a listing on every single time I door knocked.
Mm-hmm. And
I had that mindset, by the way. Sorry, Brooke. I had that mindset. My mindset was I am getting at least 1 listing and 1 buyer from my efforts today. And it changes the way you step up to that door, by the way. It changes the way you react, the way you respond, the way your shoulders are back, the way that you're confident and you know what you're going to say and you know what you're going to deliver, and you move on. I never had anybody slam a door in my face. I will say, be careful of animals. If it says there's a dog and trespassing, just stay away from the house.
yeah, you don't have, it doesn't say you have to knock on every door. You get to choose. It's your business. So let's talk about some of the things that you can be prepared with to door knock, because this will make your life so much easier. Bones. Tiny little milk bones, make friends. Always ask first if you can give a treat, though. My dog has allergies. He cannot have them. But dog bones are your friend. Also, have a clipboard with all your information. Also, in the wind, and it's just a nice thing. And as you go to each house, write down what happened. Were you able to connect with someone? Did you talk to someone? What was the conversation? Because guys, if you're door knocking before an open house, you are not going to remember all those door knocking activities after the open house. You guys, you're not even going to remember what happened at the open house. Get a clipboard. Go to the dollar store, get a cheapo clipboard if you want, or one of those ones that's like plastic that you can put things in on the inside and have flyers for the moment. Have any of you ever met a mortgage person? Do you have any mortgage people in your life? They love to co-brand things with you. They love to co-brand and spend their money on marketing for you. One of the things I'm going to tell you guys about is something called the real cost of renting, because you're going to door knock and somebody's going to say to you, I'm a renter, bye, right? And you're going to say, great, let me leave this with you. And what it does is it shows them, and most of our mortgage partners have this form, and it just says, if you're paying this, and it's got all these ranges for rent, this is what you could afford for a home. Talk about an item of value for somebody who's a renter, and you get to leave that behind. And not only does it have your information, it has a mortgage lender you know and trust, and they'll contact them, right? So then when the mortgage lender says, oh, how'd you hear about me? Oh, I got Jen's, she gave me this flyer about the real cost of renting, and I was shocked at what I could afford. I would like to start the process. Great, guess what? That lender calls back out to you. And yes, you get these lenders to do this. They love, I'm partial to a few because they just print, but yes, mortgage lenders want to do this. They want to get their name out with you just as much as you want to get your name out to the world.
Yeah, so I'm going to add on to that, and that was again another way that I was able to. In 2021 is when I started. I was rookie of the year that way, and by the way, guys, I had no idea what the heck I was doing every day, all day of the first at least 3 to 4 years of my real estate world. I became rookie of the year that year by simply talking real estate to as many people as I could at a high level, and by taking mortgage brokers and inspectors and anybody in the world of real estate, I would take them out for a cup of coffee and say, tell me what I need to know. Tell me what I need to know about lending that will help me have a better conversation with somebody. I had zero clue for a long time what 203K loans were. And you know what? If I was able to have that conversation with a couple of my first-time homebuyer clients, it could have helped them understand that and get the loan that they needed to fix up the property. So my suggestion here is to absolutely 100%, if you don't have 3 relationships with a lender, meaning that you haven't called them, taken them out for coffee, or they haven't talked about their programs with you, do it. Just like Brooke said, they want to because you are their data bank. That's how they feed their families.
Yep.
So when you call them and they're not, if they don't give you the service that you're looking for, it's okay, because there's a ton of loan officers that are going to give you the service that you're looking for.
Absolutely. And not only that, they help you follow up as well. So if you've got somebody who's like, you know what, I've been looking to do something, and you make that connection, it's just another way of following up. The other thing that door knocking does is you come Thursday, you say, I'm going to be back Friday or Saturday. You're already starting to build the relationship of trust because you're doing something that you said you were going to do, right? So having that clipboard, having the list of things you're doing or you said you were going to do, and putting that stuff into command is super important. So you've got their name, you've got their address, and then we've got things like I'm not sure what it's called in other regions, but there's like vision appraisal services, VIS, GSIS, there's mapping, there's town services, there's all kinds of things through your MLS where you can pop in and it will give you the addresses of those areas, right? The other thing is, Kim put in the chat, you reach out to a mortgage lender to do this. Absolutely. Talk to your friends in the office if you're new. Talk to the productivity coach. Talk to your leadership. Most of our KW offices do have partnerships with different mortgage lenders, and their preferred lender of choice. You should have a few. If you don't know who to talk to, reach out in your community boards and look around. Try to maybe find someone who's local to your area, but your leadership will have those contacts for you with your mortgage lenders, your inspectors, title, attorneys. I mean, anything you need in our world, they're there. So reach out to them and form those relationships. Don't be afraid to door knock businesses, especially if that's your hyper local area, right? If that is your hyper local area, you make sure that you are talking to the local businesses and putting them in your data bank as well. I liked always having in my husband's closing packages for buyers the best pizza places, where to do dry cleaning, salons, local gyms, building up our small business local community. Where's the bakeries? Where's the best Italian restaurant, Portuguese, you name it in the area. But being able to give our buyers a folder with all the best of places that we enjoy in our hyper local area was always something so fun to do. So when you're door knocking your businesses, say, hey, I'm going to be out and about this weekend. Just wanted to introduce myself. Do you mind if I grab a few menus or your menu of offerings? Or are you offering discounts to your residents? Or what you got going in your world? Can I follow you on Facebook? Can we talk about it? Can I come back and have a chat? Right? All these small things. And I love B2B door knocking. That's how I got my world built up, was going to different schools when I was in IT. But I love those business to business relationships because you never know who's going to walk in and say, oh, we're just visiting the area. We're looking to possibly buy here. They're going to have those conversations. Oh, do you have a real estate agent? We've got Brooke, right? We've got Jennifer in the area. She's great. She's always in here dropping off things or getting information to her clients, and they're going to pass on those referrals. Guys, any questions on that? We are heading up to the 10 o'clock hour, and I want to give us a 10 to 15 minute break, 10-minute break. I think we'll do it right at 10 o'clock. But I want to make sure Jen and I answer any questions or talk about ahas on anything we've gotten over so far.
So, Brooke, I did see in the chat that somebody was asking about how to get the radius or addresses for door knocking. Do you have a suggestion on that?
Yeah. So GSIS was what we used in New Hampshire. You would just go to a local, like a town map. You can go to the local boards. It all depends on what the towns give out in your area. But if you talk to your productivity coach, talk to leadership, it usually like vision appraisal services. And what you can do is you can just print that list. And it usually tells you their names, if it's in trust, you know the people living there are probably renters, information like that.
Yeah, I love that, going that deep in it. But if you're looking for the easy access, then just go onto your MLS, look at the map, and you could do a radius on the map and then print out the streets. It could be as easy as that. If you want to get a little more knowledge on who you're going to actually door knock to, go to that next step and do the vision appraisal. But if you just need to get out there and start knocking on doors, just pull up the map.
Yeah, and you can do local neighborhoods through the MLS when you drill down into it. And then if you're just going to do a small neighborhood, Kim, you can also print the satellite view out from Google Maps. You can just take a screenshot and label them and check them off when you go. And Marie, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Mine's a little bit different than residential because I'm doing more commercial and business to business. So for the lenders, and would I go like to the SBA lenders and ask them, and go like to lawyers and like prospect with them?
So are you doing 4 units? I would, yes, but I would remember too, there are a lot of still have those residential mortgage lenders, because there are often people who are residential. They'll reach out to their mortgage brokers first about buying investment properties that are more than 4 units.
Okay.
Right. So still have those relationships with your residential ones. But I would also for commercial, talk to investment brokerages, get people who help those looking to it. Why can I not think of the word of what they are?
But while you're thinking of that, we also do have Keller Commercial, and you could reach out to them, and they have so many resources, Anne Marie, that could help you.
Okay.
Yes, I forgot about that. And Keller Mortgage, somebody put up, is also a great reference to use. Oh, that was you, Jen. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's come back at 10:11. Shut your videos off. Go take a break. Stretch your brains. Stretch your legs. We'll come back at 11 past, and we'll see you. All right, gang, we are back. Let's get to it. For everyone here, let me put the links back into our Facebook group. Access to the the recordings, the student resources, and also our growth call. If you have not been on our growth call Mondays at 2:30, you are missing out. We give you everything you need to set yourself up social media wise for engagement throughout the entire week. We give you scripts, we have top producers on, we give you the images. It's copy, paste, insert, ready to go. And Jenna and I love to give away stuff. That's all we do. We just give away things. The growth call is just an excuse for us to be able to give away things. All right, so if you're back, please throw your video back on. We want to see your faces. And we'll get going. Puppies are always allowed, Alexander, in my world, just so you know. I love all the dogs. All the dogs.
He's a good boy.
Jen's dog and I are tight. Brady. All right, let's get back into it. So what's another way we can prospect? And that's agent to agent referrals. And how many of you have heard of Family Reunion or Mega Camp coming up? My first week at KW was Family Reunion New Orleans. So talk about hopping right into the fire and learning from day one. They were like, oh, you can start Monday, but actually, can you get on a plane Sunday? Because we're going to Family Reunion. We'll see you there. Jumped right in. Gave me all the info I needed to know. But one of the huge benefits of Family Reunion, local networking events, Mega Camp, are the referral partners you're going to make. I have made friendships with people all over the United States and other countries from going to Family Reunion, from going to Mega Camp, regional masterminds, classes. You never know who you're going to need at some point in your life, because just because you're not licensed in another state doesn't mean you can't help your people get there. Agent to agent referrals are huge. I'm not sure.
Can I tell
Jenna,
a story about this?
Yeah, go ahead, because I love this.
Okay, yes. So I've been a team leader for Keller Williams since 2012. And probably about a year into being a team leader, I interviewed to bring on a brand new agent. Her name was Tracy Hall. She had been living in Florida, single mom of 3 boys, and she wanted to break into the real estate world after being a stay-at-home mom for many, many, many years. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. She, like many of you, were brand new to this business and didn't know which foot to go first. And I'm going to tell you that Tracy has grabbed the Keller Williams training and models and systems to such high levels that every single one of you on this call can do. And I'm going to tell you the outcome of this. She is now one of our top agents in our market center of over 350 agents. She is a premier agent for sports and entertainment for Keller Williams International. She just sold the HGTV House of 2020 because, and guys, write this down, it's all because not only did she dive into the Keller Williams training, she went to these events. And when she went to Family Reunion and she went to Mega Camp, she knew it was going to cost her some money. Guys, there's no lie. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to go to these events. Yet the return on your investment by going to these investments are huge. Tracy, at such a high level, networked with so many of our very own Keller Williams agents, top producers, and everyone in between. She is the #1 agent to agent referral agent in our market center. If you ever go on to the Keller Williams referral page, which is in Facebook, and you should be a member there, if you go there, and if anybody puts Rhode Island or Southern Massachusetts, the amount of times Tracy's name gets posted is unbelievable. She has created an alliance for herself that has put her on a trajectory like you wouldn't even imagine. So I'm telling you, if you feel like you're a brand new agent and you don't know which direction to go to, and you hate cold calling or you hate some of the other ways to prospect, get into the agent to agent referrals. It could change your world as it did for Tracy's. And we will have her on as a guest speaker for one of our growth calls because it's a tremendous story. It gives me chills to this day to be her team leader. And, you know, one of the things is she went to Bold, and in one of the first Bolds she went to, she wrote a letter that she wanted to buy a house herself. And guys, she was able to do that 1 year later. She bought her house on her own in Little Compton, Rhode Island, which is not the cheapest part of Rhode Island. And there's so much more to that story. But guys, I just want to tell you, like, the agent to agent, don't pass that up. It's such a huge opportunity for all of us here on this call.
And it really is. And if you have a client who's looking, start with your leadership, your team leader, because we have connections. We go to classes. I get to play with RTTs from all over our country. We know people at other market centers, and we're going to help you match it to what your clients need, right? So if I went to Jen and said, Jen, I got somebody who's looking to move to Chicago. Who do you know at the Chicago Market Center that can help me? She's going to pick up the phone, call the other team leader, talk about what your client needs, and then help you make the connection. And that's huge if that person's not in your referral network. I have some ways I like to network. Networking is not just showing up, grabbing a drink and walking around and talking to the people you know. Networking can, when done correctly, can yield a ton of information and help you build your real estate network and your B2B network for your real estate. So to help you with agent to agent referrals, you got to grow your network. So we're going to talk about that. You've got to manage it and you've got to maintain it. So that's everybody come off of mute or put it in the chat. Let's talk about and mastermind around some ways you can grow your agent to agent referral business. And we already gave you a few with Mega Camp and Family Reunion and Bold. You can't use those. But what are some other ways you can build your agent to agent referral network? And it's not blasting your MLS brokerage list of what you've got coming soon. That's how you go to spam, friends. What are some ways? Come tell me anything. Come off of mute. How can you build agent to agent referral networks?
Attending open houses.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What else?
Spoiler alert, right here is a way to build agent to agent referrals. You have 38 of you on this call right now. How many of you know each other? I'm going to guess not everybody knows each other.
Just a few, right?
Opportunity for you guys to meet each other at a high level. Don't just send a message, send something that, whatever it is, something of value, something of high level. But you guys have an opportunity right here. Alexander, do you know anybody that is ever going to Rhode Island?
That is going to Rhode Island?
That has been to Rhode Island, that maybe has bought something in Rhode Island?
No, but I know people as close to Rhode Island as you can get in Blackstone, Mass.
Okay, you
That's
know
right
what?
there.
We have agents here that could help you with that. And by the way, where are you from?
I'm from Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Portsmouth, you know what? I actually have family out there. Wouldn't it be great? They're in Dover, which is not too far, right? So
I love Dover. I lived in Dover for 2 years. That's probably my favorite town in the state.
all right, guys, this is all it takes is a little conversation with each of us on here to find out where you are and if we have people going that way. And you know what? You will. You absolutely will. So like I said, this is the biggest spoiler alert of today. You have networking right here in this room that you guys can do business with each other.
I want everybody to do this real quick. I want you to make sure click participants and make sure you can see everything. And I want you to all go into more, change your name and add your city and state to the end of your name right now. If you're on your phone, it might be a little tricky, but I'm going to go ahead and put mine in. I'm going to change It may be rename. It might not say change. Jen is just all of Rhode Island. All the scary bridges that you ever have to drive on, that's Jen. I have learned to master the bridges, though I'm not fearful anymore of the bridges in Rhode Island. They no longer conquer me. I own them. They're scary, okay? If you've never driven them, they go nowhere. It looks like you're driving into the ocean. We got Maine.
Not true. They're not scary at all. Welcome to Rhode Island, everybody, and come see
Real
us.
quick,
Go ahead,
how
Anita.
do we change it? I went to participants. Where do we change?
Sure. So when you can either hover over your name and go to more and rename, or on the little box of that's your face, click the three
Okay.
dots and rename. So I see
Yeah.
Portsmouth, Portland, Abington. I got Hartford area. Got a lot of Connecticut, Braintree, Concord, Needham. A lot of Portsmouth people. Oh, we've got a coastal peeps. Let's see. Just going through everything. Southern New Hampshire. I grew up in New Hampshire. I grew up in Bedford, New Hampshire. Let's see. Coastal. Needham. Salem. Hi, Salem.
Sue, are you able to unmute yourself? Are you in an area where you could unmute yourself? I would love for everybody to know who you are and meet you if you're able to unmute.
Sue is just all of New England. She's just like, I'm going to get every license known to man, and I got it all.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I was in the middle of something, and I was like, I think Jen just mentioned that.
I just called you
Good
out. I'm
morning.
sorry. How are you
Good.
today, Sue?
No, that's great. You guys are doing an amazing job as always. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what, Sue, would you mind sharing a little bit about your kind of where you are with Keller Williams and a little bit about your business? I would just love for everybody here.
Oh my. Where I am physically, why the 3 licenses? Is that kind of the
Basically,
premise?
when did you start at Keller Williams, and has your business grown, and where are you right now with your business? Do you have a team?
Oh.
What's going on?
Okay. Started, I think it was 13 years ago. We're supposed to know these things. For anybody new, we're really kind of supposed to know exactly these details. About 13 years ago, started on a team, eventually split off and did my own team. I decided after a few years of that there's a factor in there to of being a real estate commissioner and needing to kind of know every single document that's floating out there that has my name on it. Decided eventually that I was going to go back to being, I mean, I'm still a team technically, but basically just handling everything myself. Where have I grown over 13 years? Oh, absolutely. I mean, this company, for anybody who's on the newer side and maybe is still trying to get the pieces in your minds pulled together, there's not a chance that you could have picked a better company to work for. Look at this morning, what we have. This is amazing. Other companies don't do this. So when you get those phone calls from all the other agencies saying, hey, come with us, come do this, come do that. It's like, sorry, it's a really easy conversation. Like, I'm sorry. Unless Nathan decides, all right, we've had enough of Sue at some point. Her mouth opens sometimes when it shouldn't. We've had enough for Sue, and I'm kidding. But I'm KW for life. I know that. There's never been a moment that I've had any vision of going anywhere else.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Sue. And you know what? One of the questions I wanted to ask you is why are you on Ignite? Why are you taking it?
Well, I tend to be in not every single thing, of course, but I have a scheduled phone conference coming up in 45 minutes or so, and I just kind of getting things together. I do tend to listen in. One of the reasons is we do a class at our market center with with a good friend of ours as an attorney, and he does a risk mitigation class. I love to hear what questions are coming in from people who might be on the newer side and are like, oh, I don't understand that part. It's good to understand. I think after a number of years, sometimes you forget some of the details of what it's like to be new. And our team leader, Jeff D'Angelo, says it best: when you're new, it's information coming at you like a fire hose. And I've never forgotten when I heard him say that. It's so true. There's a lot. And I just love to know where people are at and what the current events are.
I love that. So what you're saying is you're always learning base. You're 13 years in the business and you always learn something new on everything that you attend, whether it be Keller Williams or a training event. That's like one of my favorite things about people is when you truly become learning base,
yeah,
it changes your world, right? So
oh, and I'm always kind of marching around the hallways at the office, or new agents will ask me a lot, why, or seasoned veterans too, why are you still in our contracts classes? You're a real estate commissioner, you've done this for a bunch of times. Like, why? Because like you just said, same thing, there's not one thing ever that I haven't picked up on. Oh, that might be actually a much better way of doing what I've been doing. And I'm not shy about telling agents who have been around for a while, there's no deadline of when you stop learning. It's changing every 35 seconds. How do you stay up on things if you're not listening into everything that we are just given?
And that's so
well
true.
said.
And we need to hear things at certain times. And this is why I love rereading MREA, or when Jen and I do the series, or I drop into Ignite all the time myself, and in other regions I listen in on when my friends are teaching, because I always pick up something different that I didn't hear before because I wasn't ready to absorb that knowledge, or it didn't make sense to me or the business yet.
Absolutely. Yep. Every time, without fail.
Yep. And there's always ideas emerging. There's always ways people are doing things in mastermind. And if you guys haven't figured it out yet, the heart of what we do here at KW is masterminding. I don't want you guys to ever feel like you don't have a voice, or can't raise a hand, or can't ask a question, because sometimes the people in the room, there may be someone who wants to know the answer, but they're not going to raise their hand. So let's talk about other ways outside of, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do this inside Command. I know some of your other instructors probably don't dig into Command, but guys, you've got the nerd. You've got me. So we're going to dig into Command today. The nerd, Evie said, right? So what we're going to do is go through how to look at Command, but I'm going to give you guys one more way to do agent-to-agent referrals. There are agents in your office who are going to be licensed in places you are not. One of the ways I look at people is I'm going to see how they're participating in our classes sometimes. So even just in the market center, I'm going to look for those who are engaged, who are talking to me, who are answering questions, even if they don't know the answer, who are asking questions, who are just trying, even if they don't have what they think is the correct answer. Those are the people who I may want to talk to my clients where I'm not licensed, or send people to. Or maybe I'm going to remember you when I've got somebody who comes to us and says, hey, Brooke, do you know anybody in the Portland area? My mom and dad are looking to buy a vacation home up there. Yes, Mr. Mahoney, you've got to go talk to Mr. Mahoney, right? Like, so we're going to make these connections. But how do we also keep these connections? That's huge too. You can't just plop them in your Command and hope they remember you, right? How many of you, part of your plan is to send handwritten cards? And if it's not, please add it. Handwritten, hand addressed cards. I know there's a bunch of people on Ignite who I would plop a card into, who maybe you've had chats with that are sidebar outside of what everybody can hear. Or maybe somebody said something that made an impact on you today. I want you to write their name down, and we're going to find them later in the white pages, and you're going to send them a handwritten note to their brokerage. That's public info, guys. If you know, Jen's at a certain market center, or I'm at a certain market center. It's not that hard to Google and find the market center addresses. Put their name on it. Send them a handwritten note about what you appreciated today. Okay. Handwritten note cards still win the world. And then the other thing is share our education. Share it. Hey, I'm going to say things like, I'm going to send an email. Michael, I'm taking this Profit First class. It's not a KW class, but the region brought in this Profit First class. Do you want to go? Did you know about it? Did you hear about it? Because we all know realtors are so great at reading every email that comes into their inbox. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. You guys don't read. It's okay. It's like as soon as you get your license, you're like, I don't need to read emails anymore. I'll just get all the info everywhere else. It's called RDR. Realtors don't read. Everybody gets it. It's okay. But share things. Hey, script practice. How many of you want a script practice partner? There you go. Do it not inside your network. Get outside of your network. KW emails can be overwhelming. That's what filters are for. Make sure you come to my class about email and how to make it work. But talk about what's going on in your hyper local area with other agents. Hey guys, what are you doing? How are you getting open houses? What are you doing for your buyer packages? Are you doing first time home buyer seminars? Get talking to your own networks and bring value to them. Hey, did you know we're having this guest speaker in and I can invite 3 people? Or, hey, did you hear Brooke's doing XYZ with Jen? Has she come to your market center yet? Those are all ways to stay on top of that market. So let's get into command and let me show you guys around. Now you don't have to follow around because remember, this is recorded. You can always go to, what are we, an hour in? An hour and 32 minutes and watch this, all right? Everybody can see my command? Head nods? Awesome sauce. All right. So remember, if you don't know where you are, hit that red KW, it expands out and you can read the words. So we are going to go to referrals because that's what we're talking about. Because inside command is where you can track all the referrals that you send or get. Okay. Now you can see that I've got a referral network. We've got all these people in there, right? This is my husband. Ta-da. Okay. You can see I've got pending invites, people who have requested that I join their network. If you've ever seen some of these invites, every now and then we teach a class where we teach you how to broadcast for referrals. So if you ever got this weird message, hey, I'm looking to add you to my referral network, and you're like, who are you? Now you know it's because I'm playing in a class with people. So within the referrals applet, you can do a few things. You can send referrals to people who are already in your network. You can track referrals that are ongoing. You can see what's sent, what you've received, what's been funded, what's been rejected. SpongeBob SquarePants, our best client ever. And all the information in between. You can start a referral. They do have to be part of your network first, but I'm going to show you how to get there because I want everybody to grab a name off the screen today and connect with someone from this class, but make sure you put the notes in on who you are so they know. The other thing you can do is you can look at a map of the entire United States, and you can even move over now and look at different parts of the country, of the world. If you're looking for someone in Canada, in Africa, you go wherever there's KW footprint, we can find it. You can also search a little different. So if you wanted to see by market centers, you can click market center. So what you can do is say we're sending someone to Montana. What you're able to do is click on that market center and dig in a little more. And you can sort your results by random, by first name, by last name, by closed units. Now remember, closed units for an individual may not always be accurate, especially if they're on a team. This is where when leadership comes in and you say, hey, I was looking to, refer someone out to whatever I picked. I don't even remember where we are. Montana, I think I said. Can you make a connection with the team leader and make sure that I'm finding someone that's going to work with my client appropriately? And then what you do is you add them to your referral network by clicking here, or you send the referral. I would add them to the network first, right? And you can see all the information about them. So we sorted by closed units. You can also come in here, and if you're doing military or luxury, we can say, I only want to see luxury agents. Maybe I only want to see military agents. And you can change those referrals. The other really cool thing is referral patterns. Where are people going from here? Where are people going from here? How do we find referral partners? If you see this, so let's pick on Portland, Maine for a little bit. This area. People are leaving Portland and going to Scottsdale, Arizona. So all my Portland people, where should you be making friends right now? Scottsdale, Arizona, right? It's telling you where people from our KW network, where are they going? They're selling in Portland because it is cold. Nobody stays in New England forever. They all leave and go to warmer places, right? They're going to Portsmouth. They're going to Boise, Idaho. Like, what is that? There must be some huge, I don't know what's out there. They're going to Phoenix, or they're going out to California. Like, that's a really cool thing to look at. So if I'm a Portland, Maine agent, I'm looking at this list and going, I need to make friends in Arizona. I need to make warm weather friends so that I have a coast to coast connection. So when people want to become snowbirds or migrate down to warmer climates, I have somebody in all those warmer states. Because listen, friends, it's New England. It's cold. It gets cold, right? Now let's look at Bedford, New Hampshire. We can see the top referrals sent out from Andover to Nashua, to Dallas, to Chicago. And now these are only from what's tracking out of command. Could be higher, could be lower in other areas. But when we back up, look, we can see city to city, the top 20 results that are going out. I love this. This is where I start to nerd out on things. So if I've lost you, I'm sorry. But these are the things that excite me about the agent to agent referrals, because it tells you where you need to make friends, right? It tells you where you need to make friends. Then you can also see where your network is. Hold on, I think I have filters on. Yeah, clear all those filters. I want them all. Boo, 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 boo. Start to see all my friends that I'm connected to. Doo-doo. All right, so what you're gonna do today is after this class, you're gonna go to My Network, and we're gonna click this search box and we're gonna type in someone. And only because I've been picking on you all day, Michael, am I gonna pop your name in. So I'm gonna put their name, and look what it did. If you were in my referral network, it would have said in network. But I can see that there are 2 Michael Mahonies. Maybe you need to make friends with the Beverly Hills Michael Mahoney. And be like, hey, coast to coast, the Mahonies got you. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click the little add the person next to Michael's name. And I'm gonna say, quick note. And I'm gonna send it. Now, Michael's going to get a notice in his email. It's going to be a red bell ding as well. And it's going to say, you've got a new network request and you can accept it. Then he's in my network and I can start adding him and doing different things, right? So let's look at what it looks like when somebody's in your referral network. You can go ahead and see areas they cover. You can get to their Facebook, their service areas, their phone numbers are there, their primary. Everything's right there for you. Ta-da! Wow, she's got all her stuff. You can add tags. So if you know their luxury, if you know their sports, if you know they're a very specific demographic. Okay. I love this. So does everybody have a name of someone they're going to pick? We can find everybody. Sometimes the MCs are a little weird. I can't find you, Gary. Is it because you have like a different name and this is your alias?
No, I just received my license in Connecticut last Friday, and I'm waiting on my team leader or the concierge to get back to me with the login info.
Gotcha. It's because you don't have your login info yet. So once it's there, you'll show up.
I'm dying
All
to
right.
get it. It's irking me. One in.
I know. We can't.
It's okay.
All right, Anita, one's coming your way, so you'll see what it looks like. So it's that simple, guys. So we go to referrals, over to my network, type someone's name, pop in a quick note, and send off those referrals. You guys have all of New England represented here. All of New England. Any questions on referrals? Was that easy? Was that like quick? That's crazy. It's crazy simple, right? Go ahead, Anita.
Will the message come in command or in the email?
Both. You might need to refresh command for a bell to come up.
Okay.
But you'll also get it in an email. Yep. It's not always instant, couple minutes, but yep, it'll be there. Okay, so we're all going to make some friends. All right, let's get back to our PowerPoint. I love it. It's such a fun. When you go to these things and you take notes or you take business cards from people at KW, at Mega Camp, or different places, make sure you come back and the first thing you do is you come to your referral network, you type their name in and you find them. And when you connect, you tell them how. It was so great meeting you at Family Reunion. Thank you for your business card with the small gift. Because the other thing is at these events, you're going to come home with like bags of garbage. It's not actually garbage, but it feels that way. Your little clear bag will be filled up with people's cards. And a lot of people give small, tiny things that you'll remember them by. Guys, one year somebody gave me a cleaning cloth for my glasses. I still talk to this man to this day. Like, he's in my network. He's South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. But this was from my first family reunion, and I've kept this thing. This is what he gave out with his business cards. I've gotten silly things like tea bags that were peach tea from Georgia that I loved. Just silly little things, and they usually are like just like your pop by tags. They're little hokey things to help you remember. But those things stuck with me. So when I got home, went into command, connected as referrals, and said, "Thank you so much for the cleaning cloth." But what this just reminded me today is, one, it needs to go through the wash. It's a little gnarly from my coffee spilling and everything. But I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I'm gonna send him an email today that says, "Look what I am still using all these years later." What a great idea, right? So now I have a touch for this guy today that I can send off. So that is fun. All right, back to PowerPoint. Where are you, PowerPoint? So we've got some really cool ideas for agent to agent referrals. Think we could add that to our lineup? I love that. All right, next one. We did that. Open houses. So now we started to talk about open houses earlier. But how many of you are in productivity coaching right now? Does productivity coaching help you guys with open houses or connect you? Or do they give you the scripts or show you how to go out into your market center and ask for open houses?
I'm studying the scripts now. Just beginning to do that.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to jump in again on open houses because I have another story to share with you guys. So I'm going to talk about one personally and then one of our agents in our market center. So personally, when I first got into the business, again, I was 22 years old. I had the mindset of I was too young. Nobody's going to use me to sell their house. And one of the ways that I was able to again, work at the best way I could was I asked as many agents in my office, who can I do an open house for? And that was one of the ways I was able to get in front of a lot of people in a short period of time. That's just a quick way on if you're brand new in the business and you have any mindset around how are you going to attract people to you, open houses are a great way. Well, let me tell you a story about an agent in my market center, Holly Prentice. Holly came to us, again, it's kind of funny, she was from Florida as well. She moved here to Rhode Island and was getting married and starting a whole new world up this way. Did not have a database at all. Zero people in her database. So Holly and I strategized, and she took Ignite, and we really figured out the best way for her to scale her business was to perfect the open house market. And that is what Holly has done. She has been with us for, I believe, 8 years. She's been with Keller Williams for 8 years. She not only grew her business off of open houses, she grew it with Bold, Ignite, and other platforms that Keller Williams does offer for us. She is now one of our top agents, ALC member, goes to family reunion and mega camp. And again, I'm going to reverse that. She started this by open houses. That was her entire business and her focus. She dove into open houses because she didn't have any other avenue to work from.
That's
So if
incredible.
you are like Holly and you're new to the area, you don't have a database, you don't know where to start, go do these open houses and be very purposeful on them. Don't just go there and let it be 2 to 3 hours of your time. Be purposeful in what you're doing at that open house.
You know what? And I think this is a great time to do a breakout room. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do is actually, I want to hear what your breakout room say. I want everybody, so whoever's got the next birthday is your room leader. But what I want you to do is I want you to talk we're going to give you like 5-ish minutes. I want you guys to talk about why are open houses great lead gen opportunities. So the question is, why are open houses lead gen opportunities? And what can you get from them? So I'm going to break out rooms. I'm going to put 7 of them. Let's do, like I said, let's just do 5 minutes on each one. And then it will break you guys all up. This is where we get to see who's actually paying attention because nobody jumps into breakout rooms. So 5 minutes. Why are open houses lead gen? Pick one good thing from your room and one person to talk who's got the most, is the upcoming birthday, the closest birthday. And I'll open those rooms now. All right, go to your rooms and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Anybody left? Let me know if you need help and I'll move you around too.
I didn't get a room.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'll move you. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Still in here.
Let me try moving you to a different room. Did it go there?
No. I should be receiving a notification, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Move to room 2. At the bottom of your screen where it says breakout rooms, does it allow you to join one?
Join breakout room.
Try that.
I clicked on it and nothing.
Oh, I wonder if you need an update to your Zoom. After today's Ignite, just do an update to Zoom.
Okay.
There was a big security one that happened last week. So if you don't have automatic updates on, it might be yucky.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just hang around here.
So tell me then. Tell me then why open houses are great for lead gen.
Networking, obviously getting to know the market, and yeah, I think just agent to agent networking, which is good.
Love it. You're on the right track, my friend. What market center are you in?
MC 326 Easton.
I taught in Easton.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was there for database to data bank with Maggie.
Oh yeah, I missed that class.
I'll be back. They loved it. I'll be back to do it again. New year.
Yeah, it's been super busy for me. So, I'm just jumping in to get, refresh, reignite for next year.
Good. Good.
So, but this is great.
Good.
Like you said, a lot of the information you hear it before, but then like it never really stuck with you. So there's always one or two gems that are like, aha.
Pearls of wisdom, little pearls of wisdom.
Yeah. So I was getting ready to order Thanksgiving cards and I realized that I'm a little too late. The month just creeped up like, oh my God, I can't, like, I'm supposed to be sending cards out this week, not ordering them this week. So
you know what? Go to the dollar store. Just go to the dollar store and do your previous clients. Go to just literally go out. They don't need to be insane and crazy. It's just a note, right? Thinking of you during the holidays.
Right.
Go get an 8-pack, a 10-pack at Hallmark, dollar store, staples that look festive. Put your business card in. Just do something. But since you didn't order, I would do that. Just go through your last sales and just at least get it out to them.
Yep. That's what I plan to do. So.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
It doesn't have to be.
We're so like, everything is online. You're like, oh, you don't even think about, oh my God, just run to the store, Tanisha.
Every time I go to the dollar store with my daughter, I pick up blank cards constantly. So I've like in my office, I can just pull a blank card at any point. That's anything like to match who I'm sending it to. But it just has to be a note to say, thinking about you.
I'm gonna do that today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Jennifer, I'm sorry I got bumped out right when you were giving me really important feedback. I'm like, what?
Yeah, all I was saying is that it's our mindset shift on if we're going to be knocking on somebody's door with value rather than the intent to be a salesperson. Right? If you could shift that and you could really say, you know what, I'm coming here, like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't come here to provide the value that I'm going to. It's totally different than when you're knocking on somebody's door thinking you're a salesperson.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, room 1. Who is in room 1? Did everybody write their room names? Probably not. No, probably not.
I did not. Maybe I was in 3.
All right. I don't think anybody was actually in 1. Looks like that one. So let's go to room 2. That was actually Jen's room. So if you were in Jen's room, who was the speaker? Can't be Jen. She's not allowed.
Well, I'll speak. I'll be the speaker. So we basically we did some talking. Are you asking me like what our takeaway is?
Just your big one. What was one thing that stood out to you?
The big thing that stood out was showing up positively, showing up with a positive mindset and a positive message.
Right? If you go out with the mindset that nobody's going to open the door, no one's going to open the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they don't want you there. If
And
you
they
show
do.
up like they don't want you there, yeah, you're right. They don't. They don't want someone who thinks they don't want you there.
No,
Yeah.
so come with value. Bring
Yeah.
value, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, room 3. That was Edwina, Kate, Mariah, Sue Doyle, Tiffany, Bennett. Give me your top thing. Anybody?
Who had the June birthday that was going to report in? Uh-oh.
Oh,
One
You got
thing
a runner.
that is people from open houses. Sometimes they go there unrepresented, so you can, you can have those from the open house.
Awesome. Unrepresented. That's the whole point of doing the open house. Okay? One of them. All right, that was room 3. Room 4, that was Anthony, Anita, Brian, Erica, Jacob.
I guess I'll run with that one. Like you had said before, how that's the whole reason for the open house. We focus kind of mainly on how that's the opportunity to get referrals, to make new clients, to, oh, you're working with someone. Oh, great. Well, I mean, if you know anybody else that might be interested, if you're not interested in the home, maybe you could send them in my direction. I'd love to help them out. Something like that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Room 5, Gary, JC, Jen, Kim, Mark.
Okay. Go ahead.
So one of my biggest takeaways from it, and like I think what our group kind of agreed on was even if they're represented for buying a house, it doesn't mean they're represented for selling their property if they needed to. So even if they come in with an agent representing them, you could still have a opportunity to represent them in a different aspect.
Wonderful. All right, room 6, Kimberly Payne. Oh, that was you guys.
Oh.
That's okay. Gary, go ahead with your unmute and go with room 5.
Yeah, that was confusing.
That's okay.
Basically, we were discussing the gain in the exposure. It was a great way to begin the networking process and to meet new people, and also to learn how to set a presence when you're in these situations. That way, you could kind of show up and be present and really be empowered to do what we need to do.
Love that. You guys are never going to get comfortable doing these things if you don't rip the Band-Aid off and just do them either. You just got to do. There is no day where you're going to be like, you know what, today I'm ready. You're always learning something. Like Sue said earlier, we're always learning different ways to get better at what we do. All right, room 7, and then we will move on. That was Alexander, Michael, Tony.
Yeah, so we had a bunch of rookies in our room, but Michael actually has been to a few open houses and gave us a lot of insight. And my biggest takeaway was he mentioned an intake sheet where I think everyone who walked through the door signed their name and a little bit of contact info, a signature, and then he would show the house, and then at the end of the day, he'd reach out and ask if they're unrepresented and if they're looking for assistance in their own home buying process. So.
Yep, and I would add to that. Make sure you're adding that to your lead gen form on intake. You asking, are you represented, and if so, who's that agent? Because one of the things that's also great at these open houses is creating co-broke relationships. Now, not every agent goes with their clients if they've been doing this a long time with their clients to open houses. They'll say, "I'll meet you at the last one. Go to these 3, and then we'll meet." Or Not everybody goes to every open house with their clients. It's a great way to reach out and create an outside of KW co-broke network for yourselves, right? Wow, you sent 4 people through the house today. I just want to thank you. Did you get any feedback from your clients? Is there anything I could assist you with? More information. But creating wonderful co-broke relationships is huge. It's huge. If we could all just get along, it'd be fantastic. Just get along with everybody. Be kind, be nice. Drop a thank you note. If that agent sent you 6 people to the open house, thank them with a handwritten note card. Goes a long way, right? Especially when you're doing a deal with someone. Sometimes deals don't always go 100%. But if you've got a good relationship and both agents are going in the same direction for the clients, just smooths the way. Great stuff, guys. Great, great stuff. All right. So on top of that, it's prospecting, right? At the end of the day, it's prospecting. We're not going to add people to our data bank who are represented by other buyers. Don't waste your bandwidth on them. If they're represented by someone else, put the co-broke in your data bank, talk to them. You're not losing out, you're still winning. Because again, maybe at some point they're going to make the hop over to KW and you're going to be the reason they come over to Keller Williams, okay? So we got our open houses. And we're going to ask for more open houses, right? We're going to say things like, can I do a neighborhood preview for you? Can I door knock for you? There are ways to be a part of the open house and we've got to prepare. So getting ahead of the game is important. Before your open house, do things like add a tag to your system. Put the address, 142 Main, right? Add a tag so that you know how they came here besides open house. Jacob, do you have a question?
Yeah, I remember y'all talking about that neighborhood preview a while ago, but I've been looking for, is there a certain link for that someone could post in the group chat? I just want to kind of check it out and be able to use it as a tool, and I somehow missed that.
No, we were just talking about it. Instead of doing an open house, if somebody's got all their open houses covered, what you say to the agent who's listing it is if you've got the open house covered, can I do a neighbor preview for you? An exclusive neighborhood preview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
basically where you go in and you go like on a Wednesday and say, I'm going to be holding a neighborhood and collecting canned goods or something for a local charity. And then you gather the information that way. So even though you're not doing the open house for people who maybe come in from advertising or MLS, you're doing an open house for the neighbors and collecting data that way. So that was the neighborhood preview. Exclusive invite for the neighbors. Make it all fancy smancy. Did that answer your question, Jacob?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So when you're prospecting too, and we're adding these contacts, have the tags ready to go. So that way, when you're putting them in, I don't put everybody from an open house in a database because you're not going to be marketing to all those people. If they're being represented by someone else, don't put them in. Like I said, put the co-broke in. We're going to put them on the cultivate. Now, everybody uses opportunities as a way to get paid, but I'm telling you guys, if you put them in the opportunity phase, cultivate as buyers, and you do the same thing with them every single time, and you add them to a smart plan, open house follow-up, monthly neighborhood nurture, boom, done. And then it starts to tell you when to call them, and it's lead generation, okay? Systematic opportunities and smart plans now make it so that when you come in every day, you've got a task list of the people you're supposed to be calling, AKA lead generation. So one of the ways you guys were coming up with things is awesome, but how can we stand out at open houses? And a little bit of marketing comes into this. But what are some of the ways you guys can stand out at open houses and bring more people in?
You can offer something like I think you talked about earlier, like donuts, coffee, even something just small like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch them early enough, maybe they haven't had breakfast.
You can always get me with a mimosa and a good munchkin. I'm a breakfast girl. Bacon wins. Crunchy bacon. What else?
Neighborhood preview.
Neighborhood previews, right? And also make sure you're adding that to your value proposition in your listing packet. If you're talking about that with your clients and you're going to be like, listen, to cut down on the amount of looky-loos, I think we call them. I call them something different, but it cuts down on the amount of looky-loos and make sure that the open house is actual people who are looking to buy your home. We like to facilitate a neighborhood preview where we get your neighbors through, they come see, and believe it or not, a lot of people home sell because neighborhoods refer someone to the open house. So make sure you're using it in your value proposition as well. What else can we do? Because I give you the hints on the screen, guys. I mean, they're right there. They're like,
Bring in a heavy hitter. Bring in a heavy hitter. Someone that has experience.
No one said you had to do these open houses alone. If you're not comfortable, talk to your lenders. Our lenders were always going to open houses and also offering a prize. Like everybody who comes through, it gets entered for a chance to win a gift card. But guess what, guys? Always make them digital. Here's my little nerd trick. Always make the gift cards digital. So that way you have to get an email and a phone number in order to get the gift card to the people. Would you prefer I mailed that to you? I can go pick one up and mail it to you instead. I just need your address. Right? So now, oh, you like that, Alexander? I saw your little face light up. Yeah, right? Like simple little things. If you're always going to do a giveaway, always make it an e-card, an e-gift certificate so that you have to gain the correct information to get it to the person, okay? And make sure you focus on local and state laws when it comes to gifting or these things. It's different everywhere. I don't know all the state laws across the board in all of our states for those things. So just make sure that you are following your rules and regs when it comes to giving out gifts. Get the house in showing shape. We all know. Now, this doesn't have to be expensive staging, but when you walk up to a house and the bushes are scary, like there could be people hiding in them or homes or their own like animals and raccoons that are going to come out and jump at you when you're on the stairs. Maybe we get those in showing shape. Maybe we trim those back. Maybe we're looking for things like loose bricks, loose boards, things that could be slippery in the winter. Are you salting? Are you sanding? Are you making sure there's a clear path? Clutter, smell. Smell is a huge thing. I actually have something super weird. When we search for a home, I can never have a home where a cat has lived there. My daughter has allergies that are that bad that even if they serve pro, everything is washed, there's not a single stitch of cloth in that house, she will still have allergies in the house. That's how bad her cat allergies are. So I need to know things like that. They say things like bake cookies or have something that's welcoming or clean scents. Clean scents. Okay. And then go live. I know this is so scary, guys. Going live on Facebook does so many great things for you on social media. One, anybody who follows you, ding, it comes up and it says, Brooke is live. And you're going to go, what is Brooke doing live? I do it all the time for Jen. So Jen and her daughter go live all the time. Evie has her own cooking show on Jen's Facebook. And of course, as soon as I see that, I am bought in and I am watching it. And as you build your community, people are going to be bought into what you're doing and what you have to offer. So going live puts a ding in their social media. So they'll get the little one and it'll say, oh, Brooke's live. But if they don't watch it right away, it stays in their notifications and they're able to watch it later. So it's still there. So even if they're not able to watch it, they're able to see it. And I just want to put out that Sue did put out in the chat, have someone else there. It is safer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Before open houses, there's so many great safety classes you can take, as well as safety in real estate. But if you're uncomfortable, have another one of your coaching buddies go with you. Call another agent and say, let's do this together. If you're not comfortable door knocking alone, cool. Grab a gang of people and flood the neighborhood with red, right? Go out together. It's always more fun together anyway. But yeah, if you're not comfortable, have someone there with you. Yeah. She should have her own Food Network show, Sue. I love, as soon as Evie goes live, I'm like, what is she making today? And if you ever get to go visit Jen, they do give you those baked goodies every now and then. So I've been lucky to receive a few baked goodies from the Bowie household.
Brooke, do you mind going back to the go live? How does that work? Because once you be concerned that something's going to be said and it's going to be recorded digitally.
Nope.
Coming through? No.
Nope, because you know what you can and cannot say, and it's unscripted, and people want unscripted. We live in a world now where we have the metrics that show us more people are tuning in and watching you live than they're going to watch something pre-recorded. So it's a simple, quick, hey guys, it's Brooke. I am here at the gorgeous 123 Main Street, and I want to show you two of my favorite features of this home before anybody walks into the open house. So follow me. Right? And I walk in, I'm like, look at this stove. Look at this stove. We've got to see this. Look at this. I could cook for 7 families in Thanksgiving. But guys, that's not it. Hold on. Once you're done cooking, look at this bathtub. This bathtub is gorgeous. Here's a quick fact about it. I hope to see you here. The open house goes from 11 to 2 today. But if you need more information, here's my phone number. I'm going to plot my email below, and I hope to see you.
Okay.
It's
before anybody comes in. That's I get.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I wouldn't be like, so sir, what do you think about the house? Like, get away from me with your phone. It's not, it's meant to be a quick, like, look where I am. I'm out in the community, or, hey guys, I'm out in your neighborhood today. So if you see me knocking and you want a special treat for your dog, or here, come find me. I'll be with the little red wagon pulling things through the neighborhood. Right. So it just, again, it's setting you up to say, hey guys, I'm going to be here, seek me out. But make sure you have small things. Like in the winter, we used to give our agents the big boxes of hand warmers to go out with. You know, the ones like you rip the thing off and when they get exposed to the air, they warm up. Everybody loves those in the winter, right? And those are cheap. They're like 30 cents per packet. So when we were door knocking, we had our wagon with our stuff and that, and going up to the houses. But going live it's so fun. And the first time you're going to be like, I can't do this. And I promise you, you can do it. Jen puts me on the spot all the time when we're together. Brooke, let's go live right now. We're going to talk about this. Boom, go. And I'm like, hi, it's Brooke and Jen. And she does it to me all the time. So now we don't fear going live. And it just shows a little more of your personality. Remember, guys, people do business with people they like. They want to know that you're approachable. You can't get any more approachable than going live unscripted on a Facebook page. So don't be scared. You can even, to break into it, if you're not at an open house, be like, hey guys, battle of the pizza places. My family and I are looking for a new pizza place to try. Who's got the best slice in town? And you can be outside of one of the pizza places, be like, everybody's telling me this, but we go here. So everybody vote below, right? Engagement. It's just about getting engagement and people seeing you and being top of mind. Don't fear going live or being on social media. Did that help?
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's quick. They don't want to watch a 2-hour episode of you going through the house. That's what the open house is for. That's what the open house is for. And again, it shows you're comfortable in front of people, right? We have to talk to people. It's our world. We have to talk to people. And this allows you to have presence. The other thing is your clients are going to be so happy if this is your listing or the agent. And make sure you check with the agents if you are the ones hosting an open house on someone else's behalf. Make sure that, you say, I want to do this. I'm going to go live. I'm going to door knock. I'm going to do XYZ for you. And then I'm going to follow up with all these people who are unrepresented. And this is what we're going to do to get this home sold. But social media starts to build your brand. I have a very defined, unique brand for who I am. My brand is me. Michael, your brand is you, right? We are our brands. So that's how this is. People are going to start to associate your face with what you're doing and go, oh, he does know what he's talking about. Don't fear social media. The other thing is with social media, guys, this is how you get to use all those designs to start to get the information out to people. So when you are inside designs here, and let me flip between the PowerPoint back over to Command, you're able to start your pre-marketing early in the game. Okay, so we're still going to be on referrals. So let's flip on over to design so we can look at all the really cool open house things that are ready to rock and roll for you. And we are going to focus. Can you tell my favorite color is purple, guys? My goodness. So we're going to create a social media design, and we're going to click create, and we're going to go right to social. Does anybody have a listing or an open house they're working on right now? If you don't, that's okay. But look right on the left. Open house is one of the things we have available to us. Now, when I click on that, we're going to get a whole bunch of things that pop up. I don't want you to be overwhelmed because check out the top. Social wide, it's your Facebook. That's your LinkedIn. Social square, that's your Instagram, your Twitter, or even your Facebook ad sizes. Social square looks good anywhere though, across the board, guys. Excuse me, 1 second. Can you tell my allergies are wonderful today? Find one that sings to your soul. You're like, oh, this is my brand. This is me. I love this, okay? We're gonna snag it. We're gonna hover over the word use and we're gonna come right in. Now guys, I'm gonna create this once and once only because when it goes under agreement, I'm gonna come back and just change the word open house to under agreement or just sold or congrats. I'm gonna just do this once, and I can come in and change anything. So let's look for something. Did anybody have a listing? And if not, it's okay. Let's see, where am I? I'm in Wilmington, Mass. Let's see if there's anything around here that comes up. We're just gonna pick, so you just pop your address or your MLS in of whatever property. You don't even have to have the photo. So if you're covering someone's open house, this is why I love designs. It's connected to the KWLS. So let's just pick, oh, we're gonna pick this one. I'm gonna cover this open house because I love sandwich. So it's going to happen, or all the photos are going to pop up, but also all the listing details. So it's sold, but we're just going to use this for demonstration purposes. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to swap out the things I need to. And I'm going to come in and I know all the listing details, right? So of course I picked a commercial property, right? But I would say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, 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 blah. Put all the address in, swap out from my logo, download, or if you're using Command for your Facebook and you're connected, you don't even have to do this part. And now I have a social design ready to go. Open house. And now I'm going to put this on my Facebook and I'm going to link it back. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? I'm going to go to my KW website and I'm going to grab the address, whatever it was. I hope it comes. And I'm going to say, all right, come visit me at this house. We'll pick this one because it's actually my neighbor. And I'm going to put a post up. I'm going to hyperlink my website. So I've got my personalized KW website that you all get. As soon as you do your marketing profile, this is created for you automatically. And I'm going to say open house. Here, let's download it. And I'm listing, I'm going to go, come visit me Tuesday or Saturday from 10 to noon at 126 Main Street. Click here for more information or photos or to reserve your spot, right? So not only am I going to put out a gorgeous photo with the open house, I'm also going to have the link to the actual property because on this, people can ask me questions. They can see more information about the property. And they can also put information in and get information from me. When somebody fills out this lead gen form, it goes right to your command as a lead. So let me say that again. When someone fills out this form on the website or your app, it comes automatically to your command. All the info is captured. And that happens especially when people want to save a property. If they want to save this, it's going to force them to log in. And don't fear this, because everywhere you go in life, you have to log in or create a free account somewhere to be able to retain information. Okay? So there's my trick for you guys with open house marketing. Remember, you don't have to have the pictures. You don't have to be like, oh my God, listing agent, I need the photos. They're there. And all you have to do is swap out for the ones you like best and put them in. And you've got beautiful marketing. And then every single piece in here is editable. Editable. You can change it. And you can say, just sold, under agreement, whatever you need it to be. So now you're creating branding and consistent look across the board. That's it when it comes to that. I love social media. I have to live on it for what I do, right, guys? Like, part of what we do is making sure that you guys understand where to find the information. So what I want to hear some of your, what are some of your holdbacks? What are some of the things that are holding you back from posting on your business Facebook page?
This is like a little embarrassing, but I don't know how to make my Facebook page a business page.
You add a page. This is so fast. Let me show you before we move on for any of you. So here's the other thing, guys. You can't start your advertising on your personal page.
Right.
Okay. Super important. If you do not, now there are no disclaimer. I am not responsible for whatever you see on my Facebook while we do this, friends. Okay. You come up here. Where did they move it? Did they move it here? They move it here. Move it here. Okay, it's under the meatball menu, and you go page and create a page. That thing, the little dots,
okay.
little meatballs, and you go page, and you create a page.
So what if I already created a whole account?
Shut it down.
For real?
For realsy, and here's why, guys. You're not supposed to be advertising, and here's the other thing. I know it sucks, right? You can't run ads on Facebook personal. You can't see metrics. You can't schedule posts. And Facebook has been cracking down and shutting people's accounts down, and we can't get them back. Because their terms of service when you sign up for a personal Facebook is that you will not advertise goods or services on a personal Facebook. You need a page to do that.
So
okay?
I can't turn it into a page?
Nope. So just come in, do page. Because you cannot connect it to command. You cannot connect it to any posting service, and you can't run ads.
I've been going so hard on my new Facebook page.
That's okay. Move it on over. Just move it on over.
How?
You just got to get people over to that page.
Oh.
And before you invite people, just move some of your posts over. Just add those posts there so when people go over, they recognize that this is your business page. Okay? You got to have a page for metrics. Because you're going to you can't see these things, right? So mine's a page. Come on, go. What you're going to be able to start to see are insights. You can have messenger ads. You can do all kinds of different things. But you're going to start to see how many people you've reached, how many people are engaging. This is going to start to tell you things like people never click on my open house ads. I have to do them. I have to put out these posts, but wow, people really respond to my this or that, or my recipes, or when I'm in the community. My daughter gets more traction on my page, or when I post dumb things, than the smart things I put out. Like, it's incredible. You're going to notice that. And it's that 80-20 rule, right? We do have to put business, but we do have to show who we are in the world. But none of those things are going to happen on a personal page. So it is super important that you do use a business page. And we make it easy inside Command. Let me get out of this. Because all those Monday growth call things we give you guys, you can come right into campaigns and schedule them. It's another way you're prospecting. So you time block every Monday, 2:30 to 3, I'm going to put out this week's posts. You come in and you're able to see a whole calendar of everything you've posted. You can't do that to a personal page. This is the way to make social media less overwhelming. Is you come in, you take all the stuff we give you, you create a social post, you set it, you forget it, and it just runs, and you're just answering people's comments. That makes sense?
Yeah, but that stinks.
It does stink, but it's not called Facebook. It's called Facebook business page. That
Yeah.
one's a hard one. And again, you're going to want to do business page. Go ahead, Nicole.
Often would you recommend posting to Facebook? Like, isn't there some type of guide?
I love this
guideline?
question. I love this question. As a newer agent, you guys should be constantly posting. As an agent who's been doing this 30 years, you should be constantly posting. You should be posting every day. Now, what you post can vary. So Mondays should be for market updates, right? Like set yourself up, and this is actually perfect. This is the next topic on what we talk about in prospecting is setting yourself up on a schedule, an action plan, right? So part of that action plan could be saying, I'm going to come in and I'm going to preset my social media for the week, and I'm going to leave Thursdays, Fridays open for real estate things that are popping up, like open houses, like, what else? Properties you want to show. A lot of agents in my market center would post, who wants to go see this house with me? Who's been looking for a lake house in Ware, New Hampshire? Look at this home that just came on the market, right? You can do that. Use your KW webpage. Send those links out there because we've got to have action plans on how to get these things. It's also a way where you're creating trust and value and really figuring out what you're good at and what you want to get better at. Because you don't have to do FISBOs if you don't want to in expireds. You don't have to do circle prospecting, but maybe you're more comfortable calling for sale by owners. That's all on you guys to get into those things. And again, all these sources don't have to happen all at once. So we see this 80% of business people in KW got 90% of their business from 5 sources or less. So now we've showed you guys a ton of these today, right? A ton of these. So pick a couple and play to your strengths. Before you jump into any of these though, get good at calling your sphere. Get good at bringing value and making connections. Your data bank would feed you for life. And then you can start to add these small different things in, right? Then you can start to do things like door knocking, calls to your sphere, FISBOs, and whatever you're interested in, come to the classes. Reach out to your leadership and say, hey, I really want to learn about how to be better about following up with Facebook leads, or I want to be better at social media, or I want to be better at door knocking. What can I do? Where can I go? Who can I talk to? All right. So this is what a little action plan would, this is just an example of one. So today, maybe you want to go and knock on 10 doors. You want to make 7 calls to your sphere. You want to do 2 agent referrals. Now, agent referrals doesn't mean you're sending or receiving. It means you're making connections with another agent. Your 19 Connect newsletter, that's something in Command that you can jump in and read on your own. If you go to KW Connect and just type in 19 Connect, it's a lead gen program for people who are your haven't mets. Open houses, this could mean previewing them and getting them on your schedule. And again, we have new ones. Can I do a neighborhood preview for you, or can I door knock? Sign calls, you're looking at your website registrations and then You want to do client parties. Right now, client parties are huge. How many people, your market centers have something big that happens and you just invite your clients in? I know Connecticut's doing a pie event, I think. Or am I crazy for thinking that? I know some of the market centers are making it easy for you guys. And then you've got to prioritize, okay? Which ones are you actually going to do? Right? So you've made this list on the left, your list. Now I'm going to prioritize it. You know what? I know I can have 5 conversations that are two-way messaging back and forth. Or I know door knocking. I'm going to call, I'm going to do my newsletter, and I'm going to do open houses. So we've got to prioritize what we're good at, because guys, do you know what happens when we make these huge lists of the 10 things? What happens? You don't do them. You don't do them because you think you don't have the skills to do them, right? Maybe I haven't script practiced the FISBO. I have no idea what I'm doing. Your comfort level is not there. So that's why when you create these lists, create the list, prioritize the list, and then you can see the focus on the right is highlighted it's in bold. You know, social media and door knocking you're going to do. So prioritize those things and get them out. We also have to create a prospecting plan, right? Talk to your leadership about upcoming classes, or take a peek. Most of us have our calendars out, and say things like, all right, I know I'm good at XYZ. So who thinks they're the best at social media? Who feels comfortable in social media as of right now? Like, you know what you're going to put out. Put your hands up. So you know what you got to do? You got to get on those growth calls at 2:00. Time block, 2 p.m. every Monday with me and Jen. Growth call. Because I better see all your faces. I wrote down all your names. I wrote them down. I know who you are. Okay? I also had the invite list. So if you're not strong on social media, let us do that for you. Copy, paste, click, deploy. Sorry, Alexander, on your business page. Okay, until you have things that are yours that you can put out there. Let us do that heavy lifting for you. That's what Jen and I in the region are here for. Okay.
How do I get into the growth call?
Let me put that link back up for you. So
Sorry, I was like,
we have a Facebook group and we put the info out. There's also an email that goes out. Remember that whole RDR thing? An email from the region goes out to you guys. If you are not getting regional emails, I'm going to pop my email in the chat. Please email me and we'll figure out why you're not getting those ones. It's probably because you put me to spam at one point or you unsubscribed. So those regional emails are super cool because not only that, you get everything that Jen, myself, and the region are doing for you guys and upcoming classes. You're in a market center that's smaller, they may not be able to offer some of the classes, and all of our market centers open up their bigger classes to the entire region. So you may be able to take something that you would not have had the chance to in a smaller market center, or maybe you missed it and you want to find a market center that's doing it. So go to that Facebook group. The other thing is, guys, if you miss it, it's recorded. And even if you miss it, we still give you the information in a document. So all you have to do is copy and paste out of the Google document or save the image and put it right into your command social posts and schedule it to go out. So we make it as easy as possible for you. And you may win a prize. You got to be on to win. Got to be on to win. All right, we are running early, a little lean. So, Jen, anything else? I know I just went on like this huge command tangent and showed them a whole bunch of things. Do you have anything you want to recap about open houses or prospecting before we dive into some ahas?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we spoke about this quite a bit, and don't ever go to go to a open house and just sit there. Do the steps to make it a very productive and active open house. There are plenty of ways that we have mentioned today to go Facebook Live. Did we talk about creating an event on Facebook?
We didn't. I forgot about that. You can create an event and invite everyone.
Creating an event for an open house and inviting everybody. You never know who's going to come to your open house. There's so many different ways. So I'm just going to highly suggest that you really decide if you're going to do open houses, to go all in. Go all in and be very productive on them. And the same thing with your database. Evie's whistling for you guys to do a great job and to keep your prospecting up. But really, guys, like, go all in with whatever you decide you're going to go into, whether it be your Evie.
Thank you. It sounds beautiful. Hi, Ev.
Okay. So those are my words. Just go all into whatever lane you're going to dive into from today's session and really dive in. And if you have questions along the way, guys, Brooke has said this, we are so accessible for you guys. You could email any one of us or text us or call us, and we will absolutely get back to you and give you suggestions, ideas, or the person to go talk to in your neck of the woods for whatever it is that you're looking for help on. We have so many resources and so much support behind you here at Keller Williams. Just know that. And thank you for letting me be on today, Brooke. It's been fun.
Yeah, always a blast with you. The other thing, guys, is fortune is in the follow-up. Like, you're going to get sick of hearing that, but fortune is in the follow-up, and no matter what we do in prospecting and our marketing. So if you are doing the golden letter, but you're not calling the people you send the golden letter to, you're wasting your stamp. If you are not reaching out to your people right after an open house, after putting them in your data bank, don't even bother putting them in. You're missing out on so many things. Fortune is in the follow-up. It helps you build trust because you're doing what you said you were going to do. And that's the other thing social media does. People don't Google anything anymore. People go right to Facebook, they pop your name in, and they search. Okay. Your presence on social media will not make or break your career, but it can certainly help you in this world. And guys, a lot of you say, well, Brooke, I don't know my value proposition yet. Jen and I just outlined a huge open house value proposition for your sellers. Mr. Seller, when I list your home, here's some of the ways I'm going to help you get the right buyer in front of you so quickly. Here's what I do at open houses. We do a neighborhood preview. We door knock. We do this. We go live. We do pictures. We do stage, whatever it is, build that checklist around open house prospecting. You've just built your listing value proposition. Why should you go with me as your agent? Because here's how I get buyers through the door. I've done this, whatever. Now you've built your value proposition because you've been practicing on other people's listings and open houses, doing the prospecting, getting them in, and doing the follow-up. So that was Elementals 1, guys, prospecting. I want to hear ahas, but more importantly, when you think about your ahas today, I want to know the one thing you're going to implement immediately into your business. Because remember, it's just 1% better every day, just 1% better at what we do. So go ahead, throw me your ahas.
Agent to agent referral.
Get it, Anita. Yes. Love it. What else?
I mean, I think this all the time, but command is so wildly powerful. Like, it is like if there's anything I've taken away from being at Keller Williams, it's that command is, if you're good with that, you're gonna be crazy. Like,
thank you. And I didn't even have to pay you this time to say it. Like
honestly, like it's something that I really want to just like crack down on and know every in and out of it. Cause like, even just sitting here today, like the referral map and stuff was blowing my mind. All this I made a social media post and I was like, this is kind of chunky and I don't really like it. And like, I kind of had to like add a couple different images for like all the like to show where my like office is and stuff like that. I keep on forgetting the word. But nonetheless, like it just looked like too chunky, and I wasn't super happy with it. I posted it anyways and did great, but like command just has everything so outlined and ready and good to go, and a ton of different designs, and like I never knew about any of that, and like
I love you. I just love you anyway.
Like,
but
made her day so much, Alexander.
Because here's the thing: is at the end of the day, you guys just need models and systems. And whether it's Excel spreadsheet, I'm happy to help you technology wise with anything. But I wish Command had been around when my husband became an agent because this was the tool we were looking for. This is Agent 101. It makes lead generation not painful because it sets you up every day with tasks you're supposed to do for lead gen. So that lead gen doesn't become a swear word anymore. It doesn't become, yes, I did my lead gen and I checked the boxes. It becomes the most exciting part of your job because it is the one thing you're supposed to be doing as an agent is lead gen. I love that aha. And every Thursday, guys, don't forget I have tech training. Check your emails from the region. You can also follow me on Facebook.
Brooke, I want to ask, in Ignite, do we still talk about the daily 10-4?
Oh, I totally forgot about that. I don't know if they do. I don't know if Elementals
Has
had that. I'm
anybody on
sorry.
this call heard of the daily 10-4? Okay, Anita is saying yes, so thank goodness, because if you get anything out of Ignite, guys, it is the daily 10-4. That is the surefire way to build your business. You ready what the daily 10-4 is? Write this down if this is the first time you're hearing it. You're making 10 contacts a day about real estate. Like face-to-face, voice-to-voice, two-way conversation about real estate a day. 10. Okay, 1 minute. 10. Add 10 to your database. You're going to add 10 to the database. You're going to write 10 note cards, handwritten note cards a day. And you're going to tour 10 properties virtually.
Virtually. That doesn't mean.
All right, Brooke, I'm gonna let you take this on because I got.
Yeah, you got. I know Elmo Potty. I got it.
All right.
Life with a toddler. All right, let's hear some more ahas. And also, guys, I put a link out. I put my Facebook link and a link to an eval. Super easy to do. Pick your region, pick what you did. Jen and I are not approved faculty yet. We're trying to get there. So you just have to write our names in and whether or not you liked us. Helps us bring better content to you guys all the time. More ahas at one thing you're going to implement right away. I know Alexander's going to build a business page right now. Gary looks like he's in witness protection.
Actually, my sister was telling me there's something that deals with my complexion with the light that the web designers have to deal with.
It's also because you're backlit. If you had the light facing you, you wouldn't have that problem.
Okay. I'll remember that next time.
Mm-hmm. Light facing your face always. That's how I get this gorgeous glow. I have a ring light and filters. But anyway,
Right.
What's your aha, Gary? Give me your aha and what you're going to implement into your business as soon as you can.
I'm looking at my notes to pick out one that I really think is important.
I'm patient.
I think that one of the things that I really got out of it that kind of shook my mind was just getting in touch with the agents that have the open houses. And it was a different aspect that I think would be very positive. And it would, compel me to build relationships with those agents in the area. I think that was a really good piece.
Absolutely. How many of you have been to a profit share class yet? Go to a profit share class. Find out when the next one is because those co-brokes at other brokerages, when you form those great relationships, those people could become your downline, right? Profit share is such an amazing thing. Even as a non-agent, I get to participate in profit share. And I have a downline and it's important to me. I might only get $3 or $13 here and there because it's a newer thing for me, but it's still mine. And I'm still building that. So bring them in. All right, what else? One or two more and then I'll cut you loose.
I think checking the daily hot sheet, the MLS, try to figure out how to do that first and then do it.
Yeah. One more.
The one thing, or I wrote down notes too, but the one that's standing out right now is we have to match our messaging to the market of the moment.
We do, right? You're not going to talk about how, buyers are grabbing everything right now, right? Like, oh, it's easy to buy a house right now. No, it is not. It's not easy to buy a house right now, but let me help you with the home buying process is a different message. I just put the link in. We send out, if you did not get any emails from us, if you search for upcoming classes in your inbox or Keller Williams New England and you're not seeing those emails, please reach out to me. It's b.silva@kw.com. I'm going to throw it in the link in the my email and the link to the tech. But there is a whole calendar of events you can subscribe to. Let me see if I can find an easier link. We can also add it. There was a link that went out. Your market center will have our public link as well, so you can just grab all those. But you can join me every week, almost every Thursday except for holidays. I teach tech 1 o'clock for the region, and it's always something different. You can rewatch any of those on our YouTube, and I'll post that again. This usually will take about 24 to 72 hours to be propagated on our YouTube channel, but you can watch any of our previous classes. So if you want to learn more about tagging, social media, go look at my tech playlist and look at the most recent, because Command does change and evolve. So just make sure you're watching the most recent. YouTube, you've got our growth call, and you can always ask questions in our Ignite Facebook group as well. This is closed down to, it's just our people in the region who are there. You can grab that. But we're always here for you guys and looking forward to seeing you on future sessions. You guys have a great day today. Go be good. Go make some phone calls, some handwritten notes, but put it in your data bank. If you didn't mark the activity, it didn't count.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a fantastic day. Make sure you invite me to your Facebook pages too once you've got them up and running so I can watch.
Thank you,
Brooke and Jen, you guys are amazing.
Thank
Have
you.
a
Everything you
fabulous
do.
day.
Yeah.
Thank you,
honestly-
everyone.
Honestly, the energy like in this Ignite was like a sigh like of relief.
Aw,
Like Brooke, I really do appreciate it.
I'm
Can I
glad you
share a
enjoyed
script real quick for whoever's left? I wanted to do this before with the Daily 10, but I had to run. So if you're left, I'm going to share a quick script that helped with your phone calls for your Daily 10 calls. And that script, really easy. I'm not going to type it, or Brooke might type it. I'm not going to, is when you're making your calls and you're talking to the people who are already in your phone, your database, one of the things I would always say is, hey, this is Jen. Obviously, they know who you are. My goal is to help. Now, you could insert whatever number it is. I'm just going to put one out there. My goal is to help 16 families buy, sell, invest, or rent in real estate in 2022. Do you know anybody that would fit that? Or do you know anybody that I could help? That's it. Like, that's as simple as it got, guys. And I'm telling you that one script helps with your daily 10 calls a day.
How about this? I'll put it on the Facebook group. After this call ends, I'm going to go out. I'm going to put that on the Facebook group. But you got to be in the Ignite Facebook group to be able to read it. And remember, couple things. Hey, Jen, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Great. I'm so glad the family's well. You zhuzh, a little massage of the relationship, then jump into that. So, Alexander, I am so glad you are enjoying Ignite and all we're doing here. We appreciate that feedback. Jen and I love it because, as you can tell, we love educating our region. So,
and we'll see you guys at 2.
I'll
We'll be on it
try
too.
I'll try and do that survey thing too.
Thank you, Jen and I appreciate it. We are going for our approved instructor. So,
Yeah, thank you as well, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Of
All right,
course,
guys.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Always
both.
appreciate you, Jen. Bye, guys. I'm kicking you out.
Bye.
Go be
Bye-bye.
good.